What is happening, guys? Welcome back to a new video here on the channel. I am going to be talking about a touchy topic in this video pertaining to emissions and giving you guys my thoughts and, more importantly, my opinions on this whole matter. And I would encourage you all to watch the video to the end, hear what I have to say, hear what I think and how I feel about all this stuff that's going on currently with us as a community, all this stuff going on currently in the country. And also, I would encourage you all to leave your thoughts, opinions, and anything that you feel down below in the comment section and share that with everybody else to start a discussion down below. I will catch up with you guys as soon as I get back to the house and we will get into this video. And again, I encourage you guys to watch it to the end. And for those of you who do, there will be video footage of the new 6.7 Cummins making a couple 0 to 60 runs, so you guys will get to see how long of a distance it takes for it to get up to 60 miles an hour, and more importantly, how quickly does it get up to 60 miles per hour. So stick around to the end if you want to see that. I'll see you guys back at the house. Okay, so back home at the house, and let's talk about Sinister Diesel and their announcement yesterday saying that they would no longer be offering EGR delete kits as of April 30th, 2020. Now, we already know that a ton of other companies have jumped on board with this and are following the EPA's guidelines and what they say needs to be done. Obviously, some of the big name tuners have already jumped on board and they're working with the EPA in an attempt to get emissions intact tuning out there, and a lot of the other larger companies are following suit and offering the emissions intact tuning. Already pulled these off-road parts and race parts off their shelves and don't offer them for sale anymore. But here's another rather big company conforming to the government and starting to follow what the EPA says needs to be done, making it harder for us enthusiasts to get the parts that we want for our trucks to help them run better, to help them run the way that they're supposed to, so they're not eating their own shit constantly as you drive. The government is really making a strong push for this emissions bullshit, and we're going to talk about a couple of different points in this video. One of them will be government and politic based, and the other is going to be just simply how we as the diesel community have ourselves to blame for being in this position and not being able to acquire these parts for our trucks now. This is where some people might become a little butthurt, might be a little offended, but you know what? This stuff needs to be said, and I'm gonna just say what I feel in my opinion. So whatever, you can have a different opinion, and that's cool, man. That's what makes this country great. We can have different opinions, and this is a platform where I am allowed to voice my opinion, and I'm gonna do so. When I say the government is making a push for this emission stuff, I'm really referring to the Democrat Party. They're the ones who are really pushing for all this stuff and are concerned about the quality of the air, when really deep down I think all of us, whether Republican or Democrat, can see through the bullshit and know that they're not really concerned about the air quality. They're concerned about what they can do to really turn a dollar for them and their friends and keep money flowing to their pockets. But before anybody loses their marbles on this, let me just give you some stuff of why I'm pointing the finger at the Democrats more than anyone else. As you guys know, right now the world is literally going through a shitstorm. Our country is flipped upside down and we are going through hell right now, trying to get through a crisis. So during this time right now, the government has been trying to work on pushing out a relief or a rescue package. You'll commonly hear it referred to as a stimulus package if you watch the news or watch TV, but they've been trying to push this out to the American people, and it was voted on Sunday evening and didn't go through because they had not one vote from the Democratic Party. So they re-voted on it Monday afternoon, and I believe that one Democrat had a change of mind, a change of heart, and he voted in favor of it. However, all of the other ones voted against it again, and they blocked it. And why did they do that? Because they're still trying to negotiate things into it that they want. Schumer and Pelosi, we see what you're doing. Nancy Pelosi has since come out with her own, or their own, 1,400-page bill that basically is requesting more money on top of the already $2 trillion package. They're trying to take advantage of and extort a crisis that we as a country are going through, rather than just focusing on the problem at hand and trying to help the country right now. However, the Democrats blocked it 2 times in a row, and I don't know what the final outcome was by the end of the day yesterday. I shut it off and stopped watching it because it was annoying the shit out of me just hearing them go back and forth. And you're probably wondering why I'm diving into all this, but it's to show you that the Democrats blocked this bill from going out the door because they wanted to fight for and demand more money on top of the $2 trillion for other things such as this. They're trying to add more money on top of it for airlines' emission systems. They're trying to add more money on top of it for tax incentives for wind and solar power. And they're trying to add more money on top of it so that the airlines have to tell the customers how many greenhouse gases the jet produces while flying from one spot to another. Okay, so that's all great. We get our plane ticket, we get our boarding time, the gate that we need to board at, and we get to know how many greenhouse gases are coming out the engines of the jet while we are in the air going on vacation. That sounds like a problem that will really resolve the stuff that we are all going through right now as a country. Doesn't it? The way I see it is the government is failing the people because they can't put the bullshit aside and be leaders right now. And honestly, I feel that they think if this package was to go out and help the people and help to keep them paying their bills, keep the businesses open during this time, that it would reflect great on Trump as we start getting closer and closer to the election. But hey, I'm just a guy with an opinion, talking to you through a camera. Those are just a few of the things I wanted to touch on in this video because they pertain to energy and emissions and whatnot. But now you can see that the Democrats really push hard for all this emissions bullshit. They're pushing for it with the airlines. I'm sure they're on the heels of the EPA and in cahoots with them with the whole diesel industry emission stuff, and really pushing for emission stuff everywhere else that they can too. It's a money game to them. That's what it is. But the diesel industry is seriously getting chased down hard on all this emission stuff. And honestly, we can only point the fingers at ourselves, really. I think that we are mostly to blame for all this. They're hot on our tails and all the major companies and players in this industry because you've got idiots rolling coal on people and driving around in their trucks acting a fool, just drawing more and more attention to the diesel world. The major companies are forced into complying with what the government is going to say, and if they don't, they're going to get slapped with major fines that'll put them under and put their business out, and they worked hard to bust their ass to build that business up. So obviously they're going to comply with it because they don't want to get hit with those fines that they can't afford, and they would rather keep their company open so that they can keep providing for their families. They deserve that. So you can't be mad at the companies for starting to conform to this. You can be mad at yourself if you've ever acted in that way with your truck, and you can be mad at your peers who act that way in their truck. And now we see another company who's brought to that point where they have to stop offering these types of parts because they're a bigger company who gets talked about a lot on social media and forum sites, and they have to stop offering these parts because if they don't, they're probably going to have to face all those things that I just talked about. Large fines that they're not going to be able to pay, and then they're going to get shut down and they lose their whole business that they worked hard for. And they're not just going after companies. They're starting to go after you, us, truck owners, out on the road. I know someone here in New York, right not too far from me, that just last week got stopped by DEC for emission stuff because his truck was tuned and deleted, and he got ticketed for it with a fix-it ticket to put it back to stock. So let that sink in. Us, as the diesel community, need to be smarter. We need to be wiser, more responsible, because the government is now beginning to tell us more and more what we can and can't do with our personal property, our vehicles, that we have busted our asses for working hard to be able to enjoy. I know that a lot of you guys watching this video right now want to be able to have your truck breathe the way that it's supposed to, perform the way that it's supposed to, not have all that shit recycled back through the engine causing parts to fail early. You don't want the emissions intact tuning, but we're at a point now where it's literally gonna be all that is available soon enough. And you know what? I had a company tell me that emissions intact tuning would cause the truck to go through a regen about every 1,000 miles, and I thought, okay, so how's that benefiting me? Yeah, it might give the truck a little bit more power, but my truck goes through regen every 1,000 miles right now as it is. So that's not doing anything different for my truck. So really, they're just blowing smoke to try and sell the emissions intact tuning now. However, they're not going to have to blow smoke soon enough because that's all it's going to be available for people because of how we've all acted. And the government and the EPA will continue to get support from these companies because obviously, like I've already said, they don't want to get hit with fines, so they're going to conform. They're going to abide by the rules and do what they say to do. And you know that the auto manufacturers are on board because the emissions parts will get all gunked up, they'll fail, and that's a good little bill that someone will have to pay out at the dealership to have it fixed, replaced, swapped out, whatever, so it's more money in the manufacturer's pocket. And again, who's to blame for all this? This is where I'm going to start to wrap it up, but before I do, I want to say this to the selfish jackasses out there who have no regard for the rest of us and act the way that you do, and you don't care about the shitball that rolls downhill and lands on all of us. Stop acting like assholes in your deleted trucks. Stop talking on social media or publicly about what shops deleted your trucks, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to hurt the small businesses and the diesel industry that you claim to love so much by putting another target on the map for the government to chase down and forced to stop doing the things that they love to do. For those of you guys who really watched this through and listened to my thoughts, my opinions, and heard what I had to say, I appreciate you. I thank you guys for sticking through this and hearing me out. But this stuff is important. I felt like there was just shit I wanted to say, and we'll be back to regular content with the 6.7 in the next video. So make sure you are subbed with those notifications on so you don't miss any of the new uploads. Hit that like button on your way out. It seriously does help the channel with growth and getting us new family members. Check out all the links down below in the video description to everyone on board with the channel, helping us out to make the content for you guys to watch. And I will see you guys again soon in the next video. Peace. All right, truck is still a little bit warm from when we were out earlier, so let me see. We're gonna go into the menu system here and performance testing. We're gonna pull up the 0 to 60. All right, please accelerate to 60 miles per hour. Okay, well, we're not ready to do it yet. We gotta get out on the road, because if I go 0 to 60 here, I'm gonna be buried inside that barn. But we're all set up, so let's hit the road. Oh, look, it's going. 5 seconds. All right, we're gonna have to reset this thing. I should have waited till we were on the road to do that. Look at that, we're at 15 seconds and the top speed was 3 miles per hour. We're cruising. All right, no one behind us. Please bring vehicle to a stop. Accelerate to 60. Here we go. So our test result was 60 miles per hour in 464 feet and 9.9 seconds. I did not have my foot buried in the throttle. We're gonna try it one more time though. This time I will get into the throttle a little bit more and see if we can get us a faster time. All right, I'm gonna pull over right up here. We got a car up behind us, so I'm gonna let them get past us. Then we'll reset the Insight CTS2 and we will redo this test. Let me get on the flat right here because we're coming off of a hill. We'll let this car get past us. Then I'll reset it and we'll hit it. Reset, 0 to 60. No one's behind us. And go. All right, so that one was a little bit better. We hit 60 miles an hour in 427 feet in 9.1 seconds. So about 9 seconds, 0 to 60. I accelerated a little bit slow, just kind of rolled into it, and then I laid into it and pushed it down to the floor to let it really take off and do its thing. But I don't know, 9 seconds, 0 to 60. I guess it's not too bad. Beats the second gen. I'll take it for right now.